Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. There is a kind of noise that doesn't come from around you, but from within you. Take another steady breath. It's not always loud. It doesn't always sound like chaos. Sometimes it feels like constant thinking, thoughts that don't quite settle, ideas that keep moving, conversations replaying long after they've ended, and even when everything around you becomes quiet, something inside you keeps going. Pause here, because this kind of noise is easy to overlook. You learn to live with it, to move through your day while carrying it quietly, to stay engaged, responsive, aware, even when your mind never fully rests. Take a slow breath in and release it gently. This noise builds slowly, not in one moment, but over time. From what you take in, what you think about, what you hold on to, what you don't fully process, messages, responsibilities, expectations, information that never quite leaves you. And piece by piece, it begins to fill your inner space. Take another steady breath until eventually you're not just experiencing life, you're carrying it. Pause here, because this is where many people are right now. Not overwhelmed in a dramatic way, not falling apart, just full, a full mind, a full inner space, a constant background of thought that never completely turns off. Take a slow breath, and because it has become familiar, you may not even question it. You may think, this is just how my mind works. This is just part of being responsible. This is normal. And in many ways, it feels true. But there is a difference between being aware and being constantly filled. Take another steady breath. The noise you've been carrying was never meant to stay with you like this. Not everything you think about needs to stay active. Not everything you take in needs to remain within you. And not every moment was meant to be filled with thought. Pause here. Let that settle. There is space within you that has been crowded, not suddenly, but gradually. And now, your mind is simply responding to everything it has been holding. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. Nothing is wrong with you. Your mind is not broken. It is full, and fullness is not the same as peace. In the next part, we'll move deeper into this experience, what it feels like when your thoughts don't slow down, and why your mind keeps moving even when you want it to rest. For now, stay here, breathing, not trying to empty your mind, just noticing what you've been carrying. You don't have to push it away. You don't have to control it. You can begin by simply becoming aware. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. There are moments when you want your mind to rest, but it doesn't. Take another steady breath. You may lie down at night, ready to sleep, but your thoughts begin to move, replaying something you said earlier, revisiting a conversation you wish had gone differently, thinking through what you should have done or what you might do next time. And even when nothing is happening, your mind stays active. Pause here, because this is not unusual. Sometimes it looks like this. You're in a quiet moment, but your mind jumps ahead to tomorrow, to what needs to be done, to what could go wrong, or this. You're talking to someone, but part of your attention is somewhere else, thinking, analyzing, trying to stay ahead of what might come next. Take a slow breath in and release it gently. Sometimes it shows up in small ways. You check something quickly and your mind keeps going. One thought leads to another. One idea connects to the next. And before you realize it, you've been mentally moving without pause. Take another steady breath, and sometimes you don't even notice it happening because it feels like you're just being aware, just thinking, just staying on top of things. But underneath that, there is a quiet restlessness, a sense that your mind doesn't fully settle. Pause here, because this is where many people begin to wonder, why can't I just relax? Why does my mind keep going? And sometimes you try to stop it. You tell yourself, just calm down. Stop thinking about it. But the more you push, the more your thoughts seem to continue. Take a slow breath, because this is important. Your mind is not trying to work against you. It is responding to everything it has been holding, all the information, all the responsibility, all the awareness you've been carrying. It has learned to stay active, to keep processing, to keep anticipating, to keep moving. Take another steady breath, so even when your body is ready to rest, your mind is still, in motion, not because something is wrong, but because it hasn't yet learned how to be still again. Pause here. Let that settle. This is not something you fix by force. You don't quiet your mind by fighting it. You begin by understanding what it has been doing and why. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. In the next part, we'll gently explore something deeper, the quiet pressure to stay mentally on all the time and how that shapes the way your mind moves. For now, stay here, breathing, letting your thoughts exist without trying to chase them away. You are not failing because your mind is active. You are noticing what has been happening all along. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. There is a quiet pressure many people carry without realizing it. The pressure to stay on. Take another steady breath, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, always aware, always thinking, always ready to respond. Pause here, because this pressure doesn't usually feel like pressure. It feels like responsibility. You stay on top of things. You stay informed. You stay engaged. You check messages. You respond quickly. You think ahead. And over time, your mind learns. Stay active. Stay alert. Stay ready. Take a slow breath in and release it gently, even in moments that are meant to be quiet. Your mind stays slightly engaged. You sit down to rest, but something inside you is still scanning. What needs to be done? What hasn't been finished? What might come next? And even when nothing is urgent, your system doesn't fully turn off. Pause here, because this is not your fault. This is what happens when you've been living in a state of constant input, constant responsibility, constant awareness. Take another steady breath. There is also something subtle happening beneath it. You may feel like you have to keep up with life, keep up with expectations, keep up with everything that seems to be moving, and without realizing it, rest begins to feel like falling behind. So even when your body pauses, your mind keeps going. Take a slow breath. Sometimes it shows up like this. You reach for your phone without thinking, not because you need something, but because your mind is used to stimulation. Or this, you try to sit in silence, but it feels unfamiliar, almost uncomfortable. Not because silence is wrong, but because you haven't been in it long enough. Take another steady breath, and over time, this constant on state becomes your normal. You don't question it. You just adapt to it until one day you realize your mind doesn't know how to slow down. Pause here, because this is where understanding begins. You were never meant to live in constant alertness. Your mind was not designed to carry continuous noise. Without rest, take a slow breath in and let it out gently. Stillness is not something you have lost. It is something you have been moving past, and now you are learning how to return. In the next part, we'll gently shift into something deeper, a different way of seeing stillness, not as emptiness, but as something that restores you. For now, stay here, breathing, letting your system feel what it's like to not have to stay on all the time. You don't have to keep up in this moment. You are allowed to slow down. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. When everything becomes quiet, it can feel unfamiliar. Take another steady breath. After being used to noise, to thinking, to constant movement, stillness can feel like something is missing, almost like an absence. Pause here, because this is where many people become uncomfortable. You slow down, and instead of peace, you feel the quiet. And that quiet can feel like nothing is happening, nothing is changing, nothing is responding. Take a slow breath in and release it gently. And sometimes that quiet is interpreted as distance, especially in your relationship with God. You pray and it feels still. You pause and it feels silent. And somewhere inside, a question begins to form. Where is God in this? Pause. Let that sit gently, because this is where a deeper understanding begins. Stillness is not emptiness. Silence is not absence. Take another steady breath. God's presence is not always experienced through movement or feeling or immediate response. Sometimes it is experienced through steadiness, through a quiet that does not rush you, a presence that does not overwhelm you, a nearness that does not demand your attention, but gently holds you within it. Take a slow breath. There is a kind of stillness that restores, not because it fills your mind with answers, but because it gives your soul space to breathe again. Pause here, because this kind of stillness does not compete with noise. It waits, and when you begin to settle into it, even slightly, something begins to shift. Not dramatically, not all at once, but quietly. Take another steady breath. There is a verse that speaks into this space. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Notice what it doesn't say. It doesn't say, be busy and understand everything. Figure it all out and then feel peace. It says, be still and know. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. Knowing, in this sense, is not something you force. It is something that settles within you when you stop striving. Pause here, because this is where stillness becomes different. It is no longer something you avoid. It becomes something you can enter, not as emptiness, but as presence. Take another steady breath. You don't have to feel a certain way for God to be near. You don't have to hear something immediately for Him to be present. You can sit in the quiet and trust that you are not alone in it. Pause. Let that settle. In the next part, we'll begin to describe what this kind of stillness actually feels like, not as perfection, but as a gentle shift within your mind and body. For now, stay here, breathing, letting the quiet be something you can sit in without needing to fill it. You are not sitting in emptiness. You are sitting in presence. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently after everything your mind has been holding. After all the noise you've been carrying, there is something simple your soul has been longing for. Quiet. Take another steady breath, not silence without thought, not a completely empty mind, but a quiet. That feels like relief. Pause here, because a quiet mind does not feel like nothing. It feels like space, space between your thoughts, space between your reactions, space between what happens and how deeply it settles in you. Take a slow breath in and release it gently. A quiet mind feels like you can think without being pulled in every direction. You can feel without being overwhelmed. You can be present without bracing for what comes next. And something inside you begins to soften. Your thoughts are no longer racing ahead. Your body is no longer holding tension. In the same way, you are still aware, but not pressured. Pause here, because this is the shift. Stillness is not the absence of thought. It is the absence of pressure. Within your thoughts, take another steady breath. A quiet mind does not mean everything is resolved. There may still be questions. There may still be things you don't fully understand, but they no longer take over your entire inner space. They exist without controlling you. Take a slow breath, and in that space, you may notice something else. You can finally hear yourself again. Not the noise, not the pressure, not the constant movement, but the part of you that has been there, beneath it all, steady, present, unrushed. Pause here, let that settle. This is the gift of a quiet mind, not something you force, not something you achieve, but something you begin to allow. Take another steady breath, and the more you allow it, even in small moments, the more familiar it becomes, not distant, not difficult to reach, but something you can return to again and again. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. In the next part, we'll move into something practical, not as a list of things to do, but as gentle ways to begin entering this quiet in your everyday life. For now, Stay here, breathing, not trying to hold on to the feeling, just noticing that it exists. You don't have to create it. You are remembering it. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. A quiet mind is not something you force. It's something you begin to make space for. Take another steady breath, not through effort, but through small shifts, simple moments that allow your mind to settle instead of stay in motion. Pause here, because this doesn't require a complete change to your life. It begins in small ways. Take a slow breath. Sometimes it starts with your breathing, not in a structured way, not as a technique, just noticing that you've been holding your breath without realizing it and gently allowing it to slow down. Even one longer exhale can begin to signal your body that it can soften. Take another steady breath. Sometimes it begins by stepping away from noise, turning something off for a few minutes longer than usual, not reaching for your phone right away, not filling every quiet moment with something else, just allowing a small space to remain open. Pause here, because at first that space may feel unfamiliar, but if you stay with it just a little longer, it begins to feel different. Take a slow breath in and release it gently, sometimes creating inner quiet. Looks like this. You're in the middle of your day and you pause for a moment, not because everything is done, but because you need a moment to reset. You take a breath. You let your shoulders drop. You allow your mind to slow down before moving to the next thing. Even a few seconds can change the tone of what comes next. Take another steady breath. Sometimes it looks like giving yourself permission to not engage every thought. A thought comes in, and instead of following it, you let it pass, not pushing it away, not holding on to it, just letting it move without pulling you with it. Pause here, because this is subtle but powerful. You are not required to respond to every thought that enters your mind. Take a slow breath. Sometimes creating quiet is as simple as slowing your pace, walking a little slower, speaking a little softer, not rushing to the next moment, letting yourself be where you are instead of already moving ahead. Take another steady breath. And sometimes it's choosing a moment of stillness on purpose, sitting quietly for a few minutes. No expectation, no outcome, just being. Pause here, because this is not about doing more. It's about allowing less to fill your space. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. You don't have to earn this quiet. You can enter it in small ways throughout your day. And over time, those small moments begin to connect until quiet no longer feels distant. It begins to feel familiar. In the next part, we'll move into something gentle for those moments when peace feels far away and stillness feels difficult to reach. For now, stay here, breathing, not trying to perfect anything, just allowing yourself to begin. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. There are moments when everything we've talked about feels distant. Take another steady breath. Moments when your mind doesn't slow down easily, when the noise feels louder, when the stillness doesn't come naturally, and instead of calm, you feel restless. Pause here, because this is where many people quietly struggle. You understand the idea of peace. You want it, but it feels out of reach. Take a slow breath in and release it gently. You may even find yourself thinking, why can't I feel this? Why does it feel so far away? And sometimes that question turns into frustration because you're trying, you're slowing down, you're creating space, you're doing what you can, and yet your inner world still feels unsettled. Pause here, because this is important. Peace is not something you create on command. It is not something you force into place, and it is not something that disappears just because you don't feel it. Take another steady breath. Peace doesn't leave. It becomes harder to notice when everything is loud. Let that sit with you. Just like stillness does not disappear, peace does not vanish. It remains quiet, steady, present, even when your awareness is filled with noise. Take a slow breath. This means something important. The distance you feel is not because peace is gone. It is because your mind is still in motion. Pause here, because this changes how you respond. Instead of chasing peace, you begin to soften into the moment, not demanding calm, not forcing quiet, just allowing things to settle at their own pace. Take another steady breath. There may still be thoughts. There may still be tension. That's okay. Peace is not the absence of those things. It is the presence that remains, even while they exist. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. And in moments where it feels far away, you don't have to find it all at once. You can begin with something small, a single breath, a moment of stillness, a pause where you don't add more to what you're already carrying. Pause here, because even that is movement toward peace. Not dramatic, not immediate, but real. Take another steady breath. You are not failing because it feels difficult. You are learning how to return to something that has always been there, and returning takes time. In the final part, we'll close gently with something you can carry with you beyond this moment, a quiet blessing for your mind and your inner world. For now, stay here, breathing, letting yourself be exactly where you are, without needing to be anywhere else. Peace is not gone. It is waiting for you to notice it again. Take one slow breath in and let it out fully. You've been carrying a lot in your mind. Some of it loud, some of it constant, some of it you didn't even realize was still there, and yet you're still here. Pause. Let that be enough for this moment before you move on, before your mind begins to fill again. Receive this space. Take a gentle breath in and let it out slowly. May your mind find moments of quiet, not because everything has been resolved, but because you no longer need to hold it all at once. May the thoughts that have been racing begin to soften, not disappear, but loosen their grip. May your inner space feel lighter, not because nothing is there, but because there is room to breathe again. Take a slow breath in and release it gently. May you remember that you are not your thoughts. You are not the noise that passes through your mind. You are the space that holds it. Pause. Let that settle. May your body feel the permission to rest in ways you may have forgotten. May your breath become a place you can return to again and again without effort. Take another steady breath. May you find small moments of stillness in the middle of your day, moments where nothing is required of you, moments where you can simply be. And when your mind begins to move again, as it will, may you meet it with gentleness, not resistance. Pause. May you carry a quiet awareness with you that peace is not far, it is near, steady, present. Even when you don't feel it fully, take one final breath in and let it out slowly. You don't have to quiet everything all at once. You can return one breath at a time. Until next time, move gently, think softly, and remember, you are allowed to rest your mind.